Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Disney Plus Wave 4, the Konshu Build-A-Figure Wave. So I finally got an additional 3 figures from the wave, courtesy of Entertainment Earth. Well, not courtesy. I ordered, they were pre-ordered, but I ordered, and then they were processing as in stock right away, but then it took them a little over a week to ship, and then it took another week to arrive. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, but I got 3 of them from Entertainment Earth. As of now, Big Bad Toy Store actually has majority of the wave, all of them minus Zombie Iron Man, which doesn't have a Build-A-Figure piece anyway, so if you were really looking forward to just building Konshu, you'd be able to do so if you order through Big Bad Toy Store. But I got He Who Remains, I got Classic Loki, and I got the Zombie Iron Man. I ordered Red Skull, Howard the Duck, and Jimmy Woo from Big Bad Toy Store. They haven't shipped yet, and I ordered yesterday. But we have them here. So I took a poll for my channel members to see, you know, which figure they would like to see reviewed first between He Who Remains and Loki, Classic Loki. He Who Remains won. So we have here Kang, or He Who Remains, King the Conqueror. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer has dropped, and it looks insane. So super excited to get this figure and add it, but more so looking forward to building Konshu, because it's going to be awesome. So let's get right to it. Loki logo there, He Who Remains. We get the Build-A-Figure, and then that's supposed to be the cross-sell, which kind of sucks. I like the old cross-sell, which we don't get on the package anymore. Side artwork, promo image of He Who Remains there. We get a look at the figure, his awesome accessory of just an apple, which kind of sucks he didn't come with more. Not sure what else he really should come with, I guess, because he didn't have anything else, so I guess it wouldn't really make sense. He comes with the headpiece for the Build-A-Figure, so I wanted to show this to you guys because you know how it comes out of package. It's wrapped up in tissue paper. Here is the apple all twisted in there, and then here you have the Konshu head sculpt. So let's get these out of the wrappers and take a look. But there is the box, and let's get right to it. Okay, so here is He Who Remains out of the package, and here we have the Konshu Build-A-Figure head, which looks pretty damn insane. I mean, it looks like a real like bird skeleton kind of deal. The way they applied the paint and the shading and stuff to make it look like a real bone looks really cool. You can see the edge of the beak there. It gets a little bit of different color. Looks really nice. So we'll take a look at Konshu all together once we look at all the figures in the wave, which will be towards the end of the week, you know, after I get those other 3 figures from Big Bad Toy Store. But here we have He Who Remains, and he comes with just an apple. So we're going to get this apple out of the way. There's no bite marks or anything on it. Tiny bit of paint, ever so slightly bit of paint, and that's just going to be on the stem there. As you can see, it is a green apple, and then you get a darker greenish brown. It's a darker green color for the stem. We'll just put that off to the side, and then we're going to look at Kang the Conqueror, He Who Remains. Okay, so here is an up-close look at He Who Remains, and the Jonathan Majors likeness is on point. I think it came out looking really, really good. It's a little shiny in some areas. Of course, I have, you know, 3 bright lights shining right on top of him, but it really looks like Jonathan Majors. I think they did a fantastic job here. Looks really crazy. Now his coat, the collar of it, we get this design to it. I don't know if that's like, you know, the threading and how it's supposed to look, but that design, and that looks really cool. So it's really nicely done in the sculpt there. But there isn't really a whole lot else going for it. You know, it's got kind of flowy, wavy look to it, and that greatly hinders anything about the figure, and we'll have to kind of look at that. I'm going to see if I can take it off and see kind of how the articulation works on this guy, because it's very, very weird. We have Kang, or He Who Remains' version of the temp pad. So, you know, the TVA had little handheld devices that flip, but, you know, He Who Remains had this really cool one that went on his hand there. It would have been nice if they had like a removable, like if we had an additional hand swap out that didn't have it, and then a loose like temp pad, because, you know, he takes it off when he's talking to Sylvie and Loki. That would have been really cool, you know, if they did that, but you know, we just have the hand there and just the stupid apple. And then he's got his sandals on there, and those look pretty good. He is pinless, single jointed elbow, so of course pinless there, but his knees are pinless, as you can see there, and it's just a funky design. I think they kind of modeled him more so after Immortus. You know, no confirmation if that's kind of, you know, who He Who Remains is supposed to be. I will do a better side-by-side comparison of Kang. I will do a head swap, see if this head fits on this body, and I guess if this head fits on this body, we'll see. But I do really want to try and get this coat off to see what the articulation scheme here is, because I can't tell if there's a ball joint in there or if it's just a swivel, because it just gets... Oh, it has to be a ball joint, because look at that. And, oh, yeah, that's kind of an ugly joint there, because look how much that kind of gets exposed. But I still want to take it off to kind of see what we could do and kind of what we're working with. Okay, so here is the coat removed, and you know what? It's kind of a funny look. It really is. I guess I didn't really look at the details so much. Kind of here in his shirt, some gold paint in there looks really good. Gold paint on these lines over there. Sculpted seam lines and stuff throughout the shirt. The skirt piece has a nice texture look to it, not a whole lot there. There are slits in there, you know, to get the legs to go out quite far apart, so that is really cool. But I wanted to remove the jacket to really see kind of how this figure is set up. There is no waist swivel on this guy, so you get the swivel at... because it seems so much higher than the waist. I don't want to even call that. So that's like a mid-torso, not even a diaphragm cut. So mid-torso cut there. So you get a swivel there, but it is on a ball joint, so you can pivot around. But as you can see, you do see some gap there. Now, the jacket would cover that, so that's not really going to be a problem. So it's kind of cool the way that works. So, you know, still pretty limited on his movement, you know, going back and forward. Even back though, see, but the jacket's not going to hide that, so that really sucks there. So you can get some nice good pivot going on in there. It's going to be hard with the jacket because the jacket's going to be so stiff. It'll want to hinder the tilt to his right and to his left. So I wanted you guys to see that without the jacket on, how well it could have moved. But then once I put the jacket back on, it's definitely going to be a problem. And then the jacket's going to hinder the legs coming out this far apart as well. And then this right leg is a little loose. It keeps wanting to bend in. It's not terrible, but it is just a little loose. So just a heads up on that. It's probably going to be mine, but I'm going to get this jacket back on and we'll see how he moves with that jacket, because that's really how he should look. He should really never look like this, because this is funky. Okay, so He Who Remains, let's see how he can move around. So he can look down that much. Notice there is a little bit of gap in between his head and the neck, so it does sit a little bit high on that neck peg. So he can look up that much. It is on a dumbbell joint, so that means insane amount of pivot. You get full swivel, but again, the looking up and the looking down doesn't give you as much motion. The arm you can get to go straight on out. You can do a full rotation. Just, you know, be careful of that shoulder sleeve portion there. So a little disappointing single jointed elbow. You do get a more than 90-degree bend at that elbow though. But that's all you're going to get there. It's not terrible, not too bad. It's a very baggy sleeve, so you know it kind of makes sense. Double jointed elbow would have looked really weird at the bend. So that much bend there. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, and that's going to be the same hinge on both of those hands. And this one hand, you know, is made to hold the apple. I already went over the torso, but as you can see, you know, when he tilts, you can get a little bit of the tilt in there, but that jacket is really going to hinder kind of how that ends up working out for the figure. But you can get him to lean forward, which is really good. You know, once he gets stabbed by Sylvie, you know, he would kind of lean forward, but you know, it'd be difficult to get him to sit in a chair, I'd say, with the jacket, so be aware of that. The legs going out far apart, the jacket's again going to get in the way, but you could kind of do some stuff like that. Kicking forward, that skirt piece is going to get in the way, so he's only going to kick forward that much. The leg doesn't really go back. You do have an upper thigh cut in there, then you get a double jointed knee, but it's going to be hard to work that knee because of that jacket, but you get that much bend there at the knee. No calf swivel or anything like that. The ankle does have a swivel right at the ankle ball, right at the bottom of the pant leg. The foot hinges down a little bit. You could work it, and then it does hinge up a little bit, but that foot does hit the pant leg, and it's really hard to kind of avoid that ankle pivot peg holes at the bottom of the feet. He stands up really well. Usually I don't like the ankle ball swivels. It's not so much an issue on this figure, but on some other figures it really bothers me. But there is He Who Remains. Let's see how he looks next to his comic counterpart. Okay, Kang and Kang. There's going to be multiple Kangs. Quantumania will have a Kang. Here we have He Who Remains. Here's Kang the Conqueror. Lots of crazy things going on, lots of different variants. But let's see if the heads can kind of work around. I know there's some custom heads out there and people doing some amazing things with it. But let's just see this head, if it'll work on this comic figure. While this is probably something that you're not going to want to do, this actually works. And you know what? I think it actually looks pretty good. Let's get in for a closer look. Yeah, that head sculpt fits on there nicely. It doesn't, you know, holds on there. It's not wobbly or anything, and that can kind of work. And he's going to have a fairly comic accurate look in the movies. Obviously, they put in a crazy amount of detail and stuff into the MCU looks, but this works. I mean, the neck might look a little high, but it does pop on there, and I don't think it's the worst look. I think this is terrible though. This is bad. That's not. Nope. Okay, so that final scene of the Loki season 1 with He Who Remains. Loki was my favorite Disney Plus MCU show. I think they did a great job with it. I was hooked every single episode. I love the finale and kind of what it sets up, and can't wait to see season 2. I know it's still filming now. I don't know when it's coming, but it's going to be awesome. But, you know, with the Tesseract Loki version, now we have the screen accurate version to Loki as it kind of played out in the final moments of the season, especially in the final scene with Sylvie and Loki inside He Who Remains' chamber outside of the time line. How did they put it? I can't remember awesome scene, so you can kind of recreate something like that. But it's nice to see that we continue to get Disney Plus figures, especially live action. I mean, this wave is pretty heavy. What if? I mean, with Howard the Duck, Zombie Iron Man, Zombie Scarlet Witch, I guess that's it, but still a lot of what if. So I'm really happy that we're getting some additional live action. You know, with the Loki show, you know, getting Mobius, getting that other Loki was okay. This Loki, much better. Sylvie was awesome. Classic Loki will be what I review next. So it's really cool that we're getting all these additional figures from these shows, especially Loki. There were so many characters and stuff that would be cool to get figures of. Alligator Loki, we need that. Kid Loki, we need that. And what was her name? B something. B15. It would be cool to get her, the TVA agent. That would be really cool to get that as well. Renslayer, if we can get Ravonna a figure, that would kind of be cool. Although, you know, I don't know. I wonder if she's going to be in Quantumania though. We shall see. But, you know, I think Disney's committed to getting a lot of merchandise out for the Disney Plus shows, even some of the older ones, like, you know, Jimmy Woo being in this wave, getting an additional WandaVision figure. I'm sure we'll be getting more, so excited to see what's to come. Okay, so far from this wave, we've got Zombie Iron Man, Zombie Scarlet Witch, and He Who Remains. Next up will be Classic Loki, and then after that will be Zombie Iron Man, until I can get the rest of the wave from Big Bad Toy Store. I'll continue on with those. But 2 so far out of the 7. I'm really looking forward to building Konshu more than anything in this wave. Classic Loki is going to be awesome for sure. Zombie Iron Man I'm warming up to, because Zombie Scarlet Witch was a little bit more than I had thought, you know, was going to go into it. Jimmy Woo, I think they dropped the ball on the Randall Park likeness, so that sucks. Howard the Duck, not a whole lot going on to that. And Red Skull, I basically have Red Skull already, but, you know, we get a different animated version head, so we have that going. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this wave so far? What do you think of He Who Remains? I think he is pretty awesome, and he's definitely going to be one of the more sought-after figures from the wave. In my opinion, I could be wrong on that, but I think Jonathan Majors' portrayal of He Who Remains was pretty damn awesome, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But that is the review so far. If you guys are interested in becoming a channel member and joining the MCU Collective, hit that join button. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.